CODA, the brand new movie from Apple, is about Ruby, the only hearing person in her deaf family. When the family's fishing business is threatened, Ruby finds herself torn between pursuing her love of music and her fear of abandoning her parents. This movie is an Apple original film on Apple TV Plus or Apple Plus TV. It's one of them. It's that streaming service you always forget even exists. So much so that I've actually only done one other Apple TV Plus movie on this channel, and that was Cherry. That was months ago, and it was a decent movie, not spectacular. But Coda's pretty spectacular. Now, I went into this movie not knowing anything about it, didn't watch the trailers, didn't see any previews. I didn't even know who was in it. I didn't know who directed it. I didn't know anything about it. And I went in with low expectations. CODA stands for Child of Deaf Adults, and there's a lot of deaf people within the movie and a lot of sign language within the movie, in a similar way to Sound of Metal. The difference being Sound of Metal was shit, and this movie is actually pretty damn good. So right at the beginning, this movie really grabbed my attention with some really good dialogue, some funny dialogue, and it had me laughing right from the start of the movie. So I was like, okay, here we go. Gonna have a good time with this one. What I found was a dramatic movie with a lot of heart, a lot of funny moments, and some great integration of music. Now, I'm a sucker for a movie with good music in it. One of my favorite Irish films is Sing Street, a movie which heavily incorporates music. And subsequently, a lot of John Carney's movies, like Once and Begin Again, are also some of my favorite movies because of their integration of music. This movie has such a similar style to it that I didn't know who directed it when I was watching it, and I was waiting for the credit to come up at the end, and I fully expect to say John Carney, because it was that vibe of a movie. If you liked Sing Street, you're probably going to like this movie. Even to the point where the lead of Sing Street, Ferdia Walsh-Pilo, who's an Irish actor, he's actually in CODA 2. Well, CODA 1, I guess. So the film centers around Ruby, played by Amelia Jones. And I gotta say, she did a fantastic job in this movie. On top of that, there's music in there, she's singing in the movie, and what a voice. If that's her voice, not a dubbed over voice, hell of a voice. That girl's going places. Phenomenal actor, phenomenal singer. You're going to see her in a lot of things going forward. The movie overall was just really well written, in my opinion, and the story's really engaging. There's no point in this 2-hour movie that I found myself reaching for my phone or getting distracted. I was locked in the entire time. It was just a great watch. Maybe it just falls under my genre of movie, and that's why I loved it so much. The actors had a really good connection between them, and you might be put off by the fact there's a lot of sign language from a lot of the actors. If that's something you're not familiar with in movies, it could be off-putting, a lot of subtitles in the movie, but it shouldn't take away, because the acting within the movie is fantastic from everybody. The connection between the characters feels very strong throughout the movie. They feel like a genuine family for the most part. Some of the bigger emotional scenes within the movie are very, very well done. The scene between Ruby and her brother, when her brother doesn't want her to hold herself back for their sake, because he knows she's got so much talent, she needs to go and live her own life, but at the same time she wants to stay back and help the family. There's so much emotion in that scene. You can tell the brother really cares, but he's also angry that she's trying to hold herself back because she cares about the family. I know it sounds weird, but scenes like that just felt really real in some senses. You've also got scenes like the scene where Ruby has done her big concert and the family have watched her, but they can't hear anything, so they're judging off everyone else's reaction. In the scene with the concert, they actually cut the sound completely, so you get the experience of what the deaf actors are getting too in that scene. Deaf characters, I should say. And when the father sees people cheering and clapping and even crying for his daughter singing, I think it touches him a lot, to the point where afterwards we get this very good scene where the daughter sits with her father at night after the concert, and he asks her to sing for him, and he holds her just around her neck, somewhere like that, so we can feel the vibrations of her singing. And you really get that connection between the two characters. It's very strong. And that's the thing why I say this movie is very well written. The connection between the characters is very evident. It's clearly very well directed. It's very well written. It's very well performed by the actors. I don't think there's a bad performance in there. And it's an engaging story all the way through. There's a lot of heart in there. The music element is fantastic throughout. There's one minor thing where like Ruby's getting bullied by one particular girl in school, and there's no payoff to that at the end. But it didn't need to be, didn't take away from the story whatsoever. And overall, I just think CODA was one of the best movies I'm probably going to watch for a number of years. Now, you can get carried away with statements like that sometimes, but I just really enjoyed CODA. It's perhaps one of the better movies of that type since Sing Street even. I said earlier that when I was watching the movie, I felt that it was very similar to like a John Carney type movie. I was waiting for his name to appear as director at the end. It didn't come up because it was actually directed by Sian Heder. Probably said her name wrong. I gave it a few attempts. She wrote and directed this movie. She's worked on shows like Orange is the New Black as well before. Certainly going to be a director I keep my eye on in the future because CODA was pretty damn special. I'd love to know your thoughts on CODA. If you even have Apple Plus TV, Apple TV Plus, whichever it is, I would suggest if you haven't got Apple Plus, Apple streaming service, go get a trial of it, try it out just for once and check out CODA. You will not be disappointed. But this is where I throw it over to you guys. I want to know your opinions on CODA. Let me know all about it in the comments below. Did you love it as much as I did? Did you hate it? Let me know what you liked. Let me know what you didn't like. Let me know in the comments below. I said that a lot. There's only one thing left, and that is the rating. And I've said a couple of times now, we're getting stricter and stricter on this channel with our rating. For a movie to get above an 8 really needs to be something special, and I've been racking my brains as to what I'm going to give CODA, but there was no doubt in my mind right from the start this movie is getting above an 8. But I've been debating whether to give it a 9. To get a 9 has to be a pretty special movie. That's just below some of the greatest movies of all time. Some of the greatest movies of all time would get a 10. Very few movies are going to get a 10 on this channel. I don't think CODA is going to get a 10. It was in contention for it though. Ultimately, I've settled on an 8.5 out of 10, and I cannot understate how much I enjoyed this movie. I don't want to go into the movie too much in depth because I want you to go check out this movie for yourself if you haven't seen it. And even if you have seen it, do what I'm going to do, watch it multiple times because it's a fantastic movie. Can't recommend it enough. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching.